Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel, Military Video Tech. The US and Japan sent Navy forces to Taiwan after 73 China jets crossed the Taiwan Strait. Japan's support would be the most important to the United States among its allies to defend Taiwan in the event of Chinese aggression, according to a US think tank. Given its geographic limitations, the US would have to rely on support from allies in the Asia-Pacific region, and above all Japan, the Council on Foreign Relations said in a recent report. Japan hosts about 54,000 US troops and the headquarters of some US key units, such as the Navy's 7th Fleet and the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit, the report noted. The United States would find it nearly impossible to respond promptly and effectively to Chinese aggression against Taiwan without being able to call on U.S. forces and its facilities in Japan, the New York-based think tank said. U.S. fighter jets would be unable to effectively join the fight without the use of bases in Japan, and prior consultations with Tokyo would be needed for their deployment in combat operations. To pave the way for smooth prior consultations during a Taiwan crisis, Japan and the U.S. should have regular serious dialogues, the report said. Meanwhile, Taiwan revealed a record number of Chinese vessels in the area of the island. Taiwan's defense ministry reported a record number of 16 Chinese warships in waters around the island within a 24-hour period late last week. Analysts interpret this as a continued intimidation campaign by China's ruling Communist Party against Taipei. The activity of the People's Liberation Army Navy, PLN, occurred after earlier exercises where numerous Chinese warplanes flew past the median line of the Taiwan Strait and entered key regions of Taiwan's Air Defense Identification Zone, ADIZ. Within a 72-hour period last week, 73 PLA aircraft either crossed the Taiwan Strait's median line or entered the island's ADIZ. Concurrently, 9 PLA vessels were spotted in waters around Taiwan for 3 consecutive days. This recent development of 16 Chinese ships near Taiwan marks the highest number since the Defense Ministry began providing daily updates of PLA activity in August 2022. Analysts perceive these military operations as twofold. Firstly, the constant PLA activities aim to present Taiwan's defenders with various potential attack routes, enabling them to design defenses accordingly. Secondly, these activities serve as practice and training for a potential moment of invasion by China. China's Communist Party claims Taiwan as its territory, despite never having controlled it, and has sought to isolate it diplomatically for decades. Beijing has not ruled out using force to assert control over the island. Chinese state media highlighted the naval activity, noting that the PLN broke records for the number of vessels deployed in the region. The exercises were seen as demonstrations of the PLA's capabilities in encircling Taiwan. While specific details regarding the PLA warships in the area were not disclosed by Taiwan's defense ministry or Chinese state-run media, it is likely that the exercises involved amphibious landing training. Analysts predict that China will continue to escalate pressure on Taiwan, with expectations of larger and more complex exercises involving increased units and extensive activities next year. Tensions have been mounting between communist-led China and the U.S. over the self-ruled democratic island, which has been governed separately from Beijing since they split in 1949 as a result of a civil war. China sees Taiwan as a renegade province to be reunified with the mainland, by force if necessary. The conflict over Taiwan is widely seen as a concern for Japan due to the proximity of its islands in the southwest, including the Senkaku Islands, a group of East China Sea islets controlled by Tokyo but claimed by Beijing. The report also said that the U.S. would need support from other regional allies, specifically naming Australia and the Philippines. Although U.S. allies are becoming increasingly open about their willingness to support U.S. intervention on behalf of Taiwan, more clarity is needed so that Washington can discuss role sharing with its allies and develop a more integrated war plan, it added. On the economic front, the report said China is likely entering a long-term slowdown and is not expected to achieve sustained growth due to U.S. policies, including export controls on advanced technologies. With a further downturn, Chinese President Xi Jinping could make further moves to turn to the Taiwan issue to rally support for the ruling Communist Party and his personal rule, according to the paper, as Xi's third five-year term as the party's head approaches its end in 2027. The risk of a conflict over Taiwan will grow, it said. Since September 2020, China has amplified its use of gray zone tactics by incrementally increasing the number of military aircraft and naval ships operating around Taiwan. Gray zone tactics are defined as an effort or series of efforts beyond steady-state deterrence and assurance that attempts to achieve one's security objectives without resorting to direct and sizable use of force, Taiwan News reported.